Cohn phone. What's up? Good evening. Welcome to a special midweek afternoon evening edition of the Cohn phone. John Lynch spoke yesterday. So did Christian McCaffrey and Fred Warner. The draft is tomorrow. I'd love to hear what you guys think about how things are going with the 49ers, what they should do tomorrow, whatever's on your mind. George Kittle, Brock Purdy, Jawan Jennings, Ricky Pearsall, whatever. I'm drinking Earl Grey tea, and it's delightful with just a splash of half and hash, not hash. Iron Rhino.
What's up, Grant?
How you doing?
I'm doing really well. Long-time listener, first-time caller.
Thank you.
Been listening for a long time. Appreciate what you do. Before I ask my question, shout out to Lil Cohn. My father and I's connection was the Niners. He's passed. He was not as great of a man as Lowell is, but it's one thing that we had in common, and I really appreciate watching your guys' conversations. But beyond that,
thank you.
I really just had kind of one question I wanted to ask you. I'd like to take this zoom out perspective, right? Let's zoom all the way out. I tend to think back to the glory days. I think about Bill Walsh. I think about Steve Young, Joe Montana, what the Niners fans envision the Niners to be. So I have a question I want to pose just to you. Do you think that's right? Do you think that we should keep on reaching backwards? Or how many years after a Super Bowl should we change our perspective? And if that's the case, do you think Kyle's capable? Or do you think we should move in a different direction? Or do you not know? I'm just curious. What do you think?
It's a great question. To me, if Eddie DeBartolo were the owner, Kyle wouldn't be the head coach anymore. But Eddie DeBartolo isn't the owner. The owner is Jed York. And 10 years ago, he tried to do what he thought Eddie would do, which is take a hard line with Jim Harbaugh and try to upgrade. Try to find someone who could finish the deal because Harbaugh couldn't. And the best guy he could find was Jim Tomsula. And then the best guy he could find after that was Chip Kelly. And I think it was pretty clear that Jed and his parents have no clout in the NFL the way the owners of the Eagles do. Like, they got Kyle Shanahan because there was a connection through his dad. His dad had worked here. And Kyle has clout. He can bring in Robert Saleh. He can bring in some big named assistant coaches. And he brought Trent Williams. If they got rid of Kyle Shanahan, they'd be back at the Chip Kelly level. And I think that's what's too bad about this current ownership group.
Would they, or do we not know? I think that's the craziest thing, is for a franchise that's so distinguished, it seems like they keep doing this maybe, and then it falls off and comes back and falls off and comes back and falls off. I think hiring Kyle Shanahan was one of the best things the Niners could do at the time, at the moment. With all the information that they had, they made the best decision that they could. I was pumped. I thought that was it. And it kind of, over the past 8 years, has faded off. So now we're sort of running into the situation. Is history true? Are we going to keep falling off? Or is there one missing piece or something? I don't know. I'm stuck in this limbo between history and the present, and what's real football, what's not real football, what's the right philosophy, what's the wrong philosophy.
Let me tell you this.
I agree, Jed York is volatile. Let's put it that way. He'll listen and he'll change, but is the ability to maintain there? Or, again, I'm just trying to zoom out 1,000 yards.
I think it's a great question. Hold on. So if you're asking, like, are the Niners one piece away from potentially winning a Super Bowl?
We're not now.
Team? Not now, but I think what's crazy is, like, not only are they not one piece
if that
away,
one piece is the coach.
Well,
maybe.
I was going to go a different direction. Once they give Brock Purdy more than $50 million a year, to Puka Nakua's point, it's over. It's over. That's why I'm really interested in them doing anything but that. Trade him and draft Shador Sanders. I'm open-minded. Sign Aaron Rodgers. Less enthusiastic, but you could probably talk me into it. You can't talk me into paying Brock Purdy more than $50 million a year. You just can't. That's
I
me.
agree. I agree. I think that there's a lot of conversation about the few remaining veterans we have left, right? Warner, Kittle, the the cornerstones. Your quarterback should be your cornerstone. And I don't feel confident in Brock. I love what Brock does, but I don't feel confident that he is the investment that makes the difference. But that's a conversation that's been had 1,000 times. So I want to stay away from that. Let's I don't know. You drive it. Can we continue this conversation without considering Brock, or is that a
I mean, I feel like Kyle Shanahan won't win a Super Bowl. That as good as he is, he has so many good qualities that he's essentially his own worst enemy. And he's almost like a Greek tragic figure. Maybe I'm reading too much into him, but I mean, he's had 3 cracks at it. And he's found ways to give up leads every time. I think there's something inherent about him that
Grant?
cracks in the second half of big games. And
He
he does it the
didn't.
same way every time. He has a lead at halftime, comes out in the third quarter, and just goes pass, 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 pass. It's like, do you short circuit? Because it's not really how you coach in any other situation. I don't understand it.
100% agree.
Because his dad didn't do that either. You can go back and look at the game logs of the Broncos Super Bowl victories. They had leads at halftime. They came out in the second half and kept running the ball and won. It's so strange. You'd think at like Thanksgiving dinner, his dad's like, so that third quarter, why did you do that? I didn't do that.
I'm I work in IT. I'm a cybersecurity guy, and I feel like I try to break things down to binary, but sometimes it's not binary. I think it's tertiary right now. It's do we do we keep the structure, grow the team? Do we keep the team, grow the structure, or do we take some third option? I really don't know. I acknowledge the fact that I'm just a person who loves the team and who's watching what happens. But I don't know what the best decision is, and I guess I'm just sort of floating above the landing pad, wondering what will happen. The draft is interesting. I agree with you. I think Shador is an interesting choice. I also agree with you that the Niners are a money making machine, have always been. Uh, I'm always surprised at how many people that I meet. I live in San Diego. I meet people. If I tell them I'm a 49er fan, 90% of the time, there's an acknowledgement that unless they are a Seahawks or a Rams fan or someone who really has an opportunity to shut me down, they're like, I get it. Even before I explain this is history deep, this is something that I truly believe in. When I walk into a place with Niner gear, I get respected outside of the Bay Area. How long does that last? Because it's been 25 years.
Iron, that's a good question. I got to take more calls on this Cohn phone prime time, but thank you for leading us off. You did a great job. Call
No
in
problem.
anytime.
Hey,
All
I
right.
appreciate you,
Take care,
Grant.
Iron. Appreciate you too. Chris, are you pulled over? You know the rules. No, you're not pulled over. No. All Niner forces, Grant, how do you honestly think the Niners view this upcoming season, Super Bowl run, start of a rebuild? Are they just lost? I feel like they want respectability, but they're also realistically, they know they're not going to the Super Bowl. Shar Dahl, SGA Sports Talk channel, new member. Thank you very much. Chris, looking to pull over. Nathan, are you ready? See your hair. I see your face. What's up, Nathan?
What up, Grant?
What's up? What's up?
All right, so I have 2 topics I wanted to talk to you about. Whatever one you find more interesting, we can lean more into. So first, I know there's a little bit of injury controversy with him, but I personally think the pick for the Niners tomorrow, first round, give me Will Johnson right there at the 11th spot. I know he has the injury problem, but we've been. This is the thing. a lot of people are saying we should take defensive line, but it's been a known thing that our defensive line made our secondary better for the longest time. But it works both ways. The secondary could also make the defensive line better. And with Renardo Green and Demo, I feel like you add one more lockdown corner in there, we'd be in a good position.
Hate that pick. Sorry. No, my thing is like, I don't have a thing against a corner. They need to take a corner with one of their first 5 picks. It would make sense. But any guy with a medical question at 11, I'm out on. And that was my big thing with Kinlaw. I mean,
Yeah,
I understood why they thought he might have a lot of potential, but his knee was medically red flagged. You can't take a risk with the 14th pick. You can't take a risk with the 11th pick because they've gotten nothing out of too many of these high picks. And like, I'm okay with taking a guy who's safe-ish, you know, a guy with a high floor because, God, they've gotten nothing. Trey Lance, Javon Kinlaw, Solomon Thomas, like,
so
still paying for that stuff.
So as far as play goes, though, what do you think about Will Johnson? Because
great fit. He'd be like Richard Sherman. If he worked out for this team in this like kind of scheme, zone cover scheme, I mean, Gus Bradley coached Richard Sherman back when Sherman was young in
I feel
Seattle.
like the big thing too is he has like the swagger that the defense is known for. I feel like they've lost that recently, but the defense likes to play the tough guy act, and he carries that swagger with him. So I feel like he'd be a good fit in the locker room as well. But
it's true.
Before it goes too late, the other thing I want to talk about was George Kittle. If we're not going to extend him, trade him now. This is the highest value we're going to get for him after the year he just came off of. If you can get a contract done, now's the time to trade him. And then take Tyler Warren or whoever with that other pick. Yeah, it's a good fit. I just feel like I want George to retire a Niner, but like it just makes too much sense if you can't get the contract done. Why would you not trade him this year?
It just seems like he's not trying to do what Debo and Ayuk did. Yes, he wants a new deal. Yes, he wants to be the highest paid tight end in the league. Is he going to go on a bunch of podcasts and badmouth the team? No. When Diana Rossini came out today and said, hey, Kittle and the Niners are far apart and he's not there because of financial reasons, he was like, your source is incorrect. I think he's very cognizant of like being liked and wanting to have the fan base on his side because he's one of the all-time great 49ers. I would feel the same way. I'd be just as cautious. So I think he's trying to like play it in the middle. Yeah, I want my money. And yeah, I'm trying to make a statement to the organization, but I'm not trying to alienate myself and I'm not trying to leave. I don't think he's, I mean, maybe he is. But the sense I get right now is that he still wants to play for the 49ers, even though their Super Bowl window is closed for right now.
You would personally trade him though, right? If I'm not mistaken, that's your opinion on it.
I would. I mean, I think you could get a lot for him right now, more than you could get for him next year. The Super Bowl window is closed. Earliest it opens back up is next year. At that time, his career could be on the downslide.
How do you explain having Kyle Juszczyk on the roster though, but no George Kittle? If that happens, how do you let that happen?
I'll try to look at it from the Niners' perspective. Leadership, man. I mean, no, I'm just kidding. He's not expensive. Put it that way.
Yeah,
he's not expensive. No one else really wants him as much as the Niners want him.
Yeah, that's the only reason it made kind of sense of them bringing him back. Like, it goes both ways. They just both want to be like together. And if I'm not mistaken, he took the pay cut to just come back to the Niners, right?
I don't think there was a pay cut. The whole thing was very weird. I don't know what the Niners accomplished at all, but I mean, the dead cap, the penalty, I don't think it cost him that much. It was just, it felt awkward.
Yeah. All right. Before I let you get out of here, does Shedeur fall out of the first round tomorrow? That's the last thing. I say yes. I think he slips out. If the Steelers don't take him at 20, he's falling out of the first.
Teams might trade up to those last few picks to take him in round 1.
I just think it's crazy how far.
Rams could take him.
Really?
I think the Rams kind of want to take a quarterback in round 1.
They have Jimmy G, though. They're good.
It's true. It's true.
Good talking to
All
you.
right, man. Good to see you. Thanks, Nathan. All right, later. Chris, you're up. Thank you for pulling over. I appreciate it.
Oh, no problem. I was trying to find a good spot to pull over.
Where are you? Oh, you don't have to tell me.
Well, yeah.
Running from the feds.
Of course. Always.
Yeah.
Now, I live out a little further east than you.
Okay, cool.
So I was on my way home from work.
Nice.
So let me see. Your question: how do the faithful feel the day before the draft?
Who do you want him to take? How do you feel about what he said yesterday?
I want them to trade down and stock up for next year, and they really should have gotten rid of Shanny. I mean, again, I say this every year and every time they lose or win, but Lynch ain't the guy.
If the Bears got Ben Johnson, the Niners could have got Ben. It's not like the
Yeah.
Bears are a competent, respected organization, and they
Yeah.
got Ben Johnson.
The difference is the one thing I will give him is he doesn't have to move very far. Also, the Bears are on the rise. The Niners are not on the rise. The Niners.
Yeah, I'd
you
rather
have to
coach
start
Caleb
them.
Williams on a rookie deal than Brock
Oh,
for $50 million.
hell yeah. Or whoever the Niners would get this year, because Lynch ain't a good GM. I mean, we haven't I don't have faith in him. I don't have faith in Lynch doing a good draft without Adam Peters, with that good back half of the draft. They won't have a good back half of the draft this year to make up for the fact they don't have Adam Peters. They need so many pieces at this point. You can get rid of all of them. I don't know why Trent Williams is still on the team. I don't know why
Is he?
Kittle's still on the team. I don't know why Ayuk, as much as I like Ayuk, and he's a player you can kind of build around for.
I can tell you why Ayuk's still on the team, because no one wants his contract. That's why.
Okay.
Let's go one by one. I can tell you Ayuk. I don't think they want him on the team. Kittle, good question. I think there's probably sentimental value. He doesn't really want to leave, but still, I'm not paying $20 million, $19 million for a tight end who's in his 30s, and you're not going to be good for a year. Why? For what?
Yeah,
why?
Exactly. And why would he? That's one of those things where it's like, okay, Trent, if you still want to play, let me get you over to a team that's going to compete. I'll take a third rounder. I don't care as long as I get rid of the contract.
Thank you. You should go to Trent and be like, look, Trent, we're not even trying this year. You're 37 years old. We don't want to waste a year of your career. And if you stay here this year, that's exactly what we're going to do. Best case, 10-7. So, hey, man, D'Amico needs a left tackle. You're from Texas. What do you say? You want to go play for the Houston Texans? I wouldn't be surprised if something like that were to happen tomorrow.
I hope so for him and for the Niners, because he's not what he was. I mean, McCaffrey shouldn't be on the team anymore. All these guys, I mean, if I had my choice between McCaffrey or Mason, it's an easy choice. You keep Mason. Mason has that Frank Gore ability to keep you in games when they're not good.
And he's 25.
Right. That's the one that I was like, what the hell are they doing? He wasn't even going to be that expensive.
I mean, obviously, Kyle Shanahan has a draft crush running back, fine. Get it right. Because the one thing with Jordan Mason, I love Jordan Mason, but he did get hurt. He hadn't really proved that he could be that guy who could carry the offense for a whole season if McCaffrey goes down. So you better find that guy. You better.
Yes.
Better. Because Mason's so good, and he'd be great in like a timeshare, which is what he's going to be in Minnesota.
Yeah. And that's what he should have been with McCaffrey or whoever else the Niners had. But
that's how he was used at Georgia Tech with Jahmyr Gibbs, the two of them.
And I mean, he was the fact that they didn't use him again, Shanny and Lynch, those two are the two that need to go. And they just need a full I don't even care if they pay. I don't want Rodgers, but I would rather pay Rodgers that 1 year, 11 million or whatever the hell it is he says he wants for that 1 year, rather than pay Purdy 11 million a year for the next 4 years.
Do you think Kyle would ever coach Rodgers?
No, absolutely not.
He'd rather have Cousins.
I think they should have gotten Cousins.
I think they still might.
Good. I mean, quite honestly, at this point, I don't want Purdy. He's not worth the money. And if you're going to have to pay him, get rid of him. And they need they just need to wipe the slate clean. I don't agree with that. Granted, I think you'd be overpaying for Hufanga, but I don't think you needed to pay. You need defensive backs. Those are so hard to find. And they had one and they let him go. And they let some of the people they let go is like, what are you guys doing? And
I just want to see a team, like, for once, draft a guy in the first round and get a lot out of his rookie deal, get to
Yeah.
the extension, and say, you know what, dude, we're not paying you $50 million a year because that's what the market is. That's what
Right.
the Rams did with Jared Goff, regretted it. That's what the Dolphins did with Tua, regretted it. That's what the Jaguars did with Trevor Lawrence. They're in denial. It's what just because you drafted a guy and got 4 good years out of him or a good year and a half out of him doesn't mean you have to give over the contract. You
No,
don't have to.
and he's
I'd love to see a team be like, you know what? Sorry, man. We're just
Right.
going to go with another guy on a rookie deal. It's
Well-
going to seem shocking at first, but we're going to do it, and other teams are going to do it too.
well, like what the Bears did with Fields. Hey, this ain't working. Sorry, go somewhere else. We wish you luck. You know,
But it would take real cojones to do it with someone like Purdy or Goff, someone who's had success, been in the MVP consideration, gone to a Super Bowl, lost. It's like, yeah, you're really good, but a lot of that's us, and we're not freaking paying you on top of the market because we know you. You
Right.
know you. It's not happening.
When it came down to it, Shanny and Purdy failed. They failed
What
every
are you paying him
time.
for?
And
He's a bridge. He's a bridge.
He's
And
a
bridge
younger-
quarterbacks make good money, but not 50 million plus.
No, and then the you get the Cousins, and then what I would like is for the Niners to just load up everywhere. And
Here's
then,
how you know Brock's a bridge. What happens when he's in a close game?
oh, they lose.
What happens when he's
he
losing
throws
in
a
the
pick.
fourth quarter? That's what you pay a quarterback. That's what you get the 5 for.
Thank
We're
you.
down 10 in the fourth quarter. This game's not over. You know why?
Right.
Because we have Brock fucking Purdy. And he could do anything at any. No, dude. Brock wins a specific way. He gets a lead
Mhm.
and he holds on to it in the second half. Like, sorry, system
No.
quarterback, pay him 45 tops. Tops.
Right.
I wouldn't even do that.
I wouldn't do that either. I would give him I'd say, all right, I give him a shorter version of the Danny Dimes deal.
I think Shador Sanders would have success on the Niners. I think Jackson Dart would have success on the Niners. I think old ass Tyler Shug would have success on the Niners. I don't think Jalen Milroe's a good fit, but there's like 3 or 4 quarterbacks who are and would be good right away.
Sanders' only problem for me is the fact that Dion would be very vocal and very much in the mix. And then
Good. Deal with that, Kyle.
Yeah. And
Good.
I know that'd be hilarious to watch Kyle
Yeah.
deal with that shit. But I would just like for them to just commit the rebuild. This doesn't work. Shanny will never win a Super Bowl. Ever.
Yeah. Commit. Chris, I got to keep it pushing, man. Great to talk
I know
to you.
you do. Nice talking to you too, man.
All right, man. Take care.
All right, later.
All right, we got Shardal and then we got JD. So JD, hang tight. Shardal is a Cohn Phone Hall of Famer. Been calling in for years. Just real quick, Shardal, we got a couple super chats. Niner Gang says has been a member for 15 months. Grant, FK the haters, that's all. I don't know what FK stands for. Fork? All Niner F says, Grant, why is this a thing in the NFL where players hold out, renegotiate with 1-2 years on their contracts? It's a good question. Because if you can get a new year deal, if you can get a new deal with 1-2 years left in your contract, you do it. I mean, once it happens, there's a precedent, and I guess it's as simple as that. If the market allows it, you go for it. And I think the Niners need to put an end to it. Stop. I don't know. Dave Barclay, member for 40 months. That's hella long. Thank you, Dave. What up, G? Real ones know BP isn't good. Fire Lyle. Simple as that. Simple as that. I'm him. 707 says, wouldn't be mad at Johnson teaming him up with solid CBs. We always had a guy like Witherspoon, Thomas, Oliver, Yadam giving up yards. Yeah. Look, this is Gus Bradley. He's running zone. He's going to draft a guy who runs like a 4.53. I think he's going to take a corner and on day 3. And he might be good. Sherman was a day 3 pick. All right, Shardal. How you doing, Shardal?
Hey, what's up, Grant? It's great calling in. I'm a big fan of a YouTube channel. I love all your content, all your videos, man. You grind. You do a great job. Keep up the hard work, bro. I know you're gonna go far. If you keep up what you're doing at this rate, you're gonna go far. I know it. I keep calling. I show love to you every single day.
Shardal, you're my brother, man. Thank you so much for calling in. What's on your mind?
So with the 11th pick in the 2025 NFL draft, I'm gonna go with Armand Membo. Armand Membo is considered an excellent fit for Kyle Shanahan's wide zone blocking scheme. He demonstrates elite agility to block in space in the running game. which is the hallmark of the 49ers offense. His ability to get out and make reach blocks would be a significant asset. Membo ranks highly in athleticism scores among offensive tackles in the 2025 draft class. His impressive performance at the NFL Scouting Combine, including a fast 40-yard dash and a high vertical jump for his size, highlights his physical tools. He is noted for his technically sound hand and footwork and pass protection. He also processes twists and blitzes quickly. While he primarily played right tackle, some teams reportedly inquired about his potential to play offensive guard, offering roster flexibility.
How about that? I love that pick. A+. If they get Armand Membu, I would give it an A++. Offensive line wouldn't be. It would be smart.
I think Armand Membo would be a really good selection for the 49ers in the NFL draft, because I think he'll add I think he'll improve the 49ers roster rotation.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised. I believe that the Niners are going to draft an offensive tackle with their first pick. I've been going with Kelvin Banks. I don't know who's going to be there at 11. It's possible that Membu and Banks won't be there at 11. I have a sleeper pick for the 49ers at 11. Are you ready for it?
I'm ready for it.
Okay. Gray Zabel, offensive lineman from North Dakota State, where Trey Lance went. They're projecting him to play guard, but I think he could play tackle for the 49ers. He has the athleticism for it. He has short arms, but so does the Rams left tackle, Alaric Jackson, short arms. I'm just saying, Gray Zabel, he could play every position on the Niners offensive line, and I think they like versatile players like that. Would it be a reach at 11? Yes, but the Niners love reaching, and so do I.
So with Trent Williams turning 37 this summer and nearing the end of his Hall of Fame career, finding a potential successor at left tackle is crucial. Membo, while having played at primary right tackle in Missouri, possesses the athleticism that some analysts believe he could translate to the left side in the future. Membo could immediately compete with or even supplant Colton McKivitz at right tackle. McKivitz might be better suited in a reserve role, especially after the departure of Jalen Moore in free agency.
Amen. I love that.
I could take Larry Kruger's job. Larry Kruger does mock drafts, NFL mock drafts. I could take his job away from him.
You better tell him. I'll tell him that you're coming for him.
Cause he does NFL mock drafts on the Krug show and then bring guests on to do NFL mock drafts. I could take his job away. Look at all this knowledge I'm bringing onto the show.
Do you think Larry does a good job?
I think he does a good job, but I think I don't want to take his job away, but I can kind of be on the same level as Larry Kruger.
I see what you mean, because he has like kids and stuff and a wife. You don't want to necessarily take his livelihood away, but you could.
So what are your thoughts on the 49ers season next year? Like, how do you think it's gonna go? The season's not started yet, but how do you think they're gonna potentially make it all the way to the playoffs and win a Lombardi trophy?
Man, Chardal, I have my doubts. I gotta say, I think they're gonna have some ups, some downs, some good times, some bad, but I think ultimately they're not gonna win the Super Bowl this year. What do you think?
I'm a diehard 49er fan. I really want them to make it all the way to the zenith and make it all the way to the Super Bowl and win a Lombardi trophy, because that would be. I mean, we'll see if it happens. But that's my goal. I really want us to make it all the way to the Super Bowl.
That's a good goal. I admire it.
You know how happy that would make me feel if 49ers made that happen and they
how
made
happy?
It all the way to this. I would be on top of the world.
Can you imagine what it would feel like to experience that?
That would be one of the greatest things to experience if that happened.
You've never had that experience.
I never had that experience.
What do you think you would do that day? The Niners win the Super Bowl.
Grant, I'm going to Game 3 of the NBA playoffs, Rockets and Warriors. I'm going. My dad got tickets already. We're going. My dad hooked me up with the tickets, bro. So I gotta give love to my dad, bro.
So much love, dude. Your dad.
Yeah, me and my dad are going. Year. Yeah, we're going.
My dad didn't get me any tickets to the freaking Warriors game. Not one.
Yeah, so me and my dad are going.
Have a good time.
My dad hooked me up.
Your dad must love you.
I asked my dad, bro. I really want to. I've never been to an NBA playoff game before. I really want to go to one.
What'd he say?
He said I'll buy. I'll hook. He hooked me up.
Say no more. Say less. He said, I got you, son.
I
Shardal,
love.
I got to take more calls,
Hey
but it's always a
Grant.
pleasure, man.
Hey Grant. Viewers, make sure to click that like button, smash that subscribe button, and ring that notification bell for Grant Cohn. Um, he needs 18,000 more subscribers. Um, to reach 200,000 subscribers. So make sure he gets to that 200,000 subscriber mark. I love you, Grant. I always love to call into your show. You're the goat. You're a goat and the OG. Thanks for having me on the show. I'll definitely call in next time. I know you got more callers to get to, so I don't want to keep you waiting.
Thanks, Shardal. You're always welcome to
See
call
you.
in. You're the GOAT.
See you later. See you later, Grant. I love you. I love everything you do, and keep grinding, keep putting that hard work in. And you're gonna go far. You're gonna go far on YouTube.
Thanks, Shardal. Take care.
Take care.
JD.
What up, Grant? How you doing, man?
Good. How you doing, man?
Not bad. Been a while. Been a while. So, day before the draft, Niner fans, man, it's like Christmas Eve for us. You know, I can't wait for the draft this weekend. It's one of my favorite times of the year. And I got a question for you, Grant. I'm sure you'll counter and ask me, but I got to ask you, how is the pick at 11 not Walter Nolan?
He's a good player. I think he's a hell of a player. My question with him and Mason Graham is like scheme fit. I think a play in the wide nine. They have the quickness for it. But would either one really be a good run defender in this particular front? I wonder. Like, I don't even think Aaron Donald would be a good run defender in this particular front. But you put a 295-pound defensive tackle in a five-man front and sort of protect him from those constant double teams and get him a one-on-one, man, he's brutal. Think Justin Smith. So to me, it's just a scheme thing, and I bet Chris Kasarik completely disagrees with me, but at a certain point, they got to take run defense seriously because it's been an issue for a couple of years. And I know he's a good run defender, but I'm talking about in this front.
No, absolutely. In the wide nine, there are concerns that Walter Nolan may not be the ideal fit. Maybe a guy like a Kenneth Grant would be more of an ideal scheme fit for the wide nine. But just
even Derek Harmon might be more of a space eater. But although I heard he has injury issues.
Yep. And there's some concerns there you're hearing leading up to the draft on Harmon. But Walter Nolan, to me, if you're picking at 11, you're looking for a guy who could have been a potential top 10 pick, maybe someone who, just slides down slightly for whatever reason, but still has that top 10 potential, has all the traits that you look for. He can play the run. He is a pass rusher. He's athletic. He's got that dog in him, and I know that we have questions whether or not he can stop the run in the wide nine, but when have the 49ers really ever put an emphasis on their defensive tackle stopping the run? They want to get up the field, all gas, no brakes.
Well, when they signed Armstead and maybe when they drafted Kinlaw. But other than that, yeah, I'm with you.
So,
I mean, Hargrave was just a straight up pass rusher. Same with Collins. Same with Floyd. To me, it's like, what does Saleh want to do? And he hasn't been here in 4 years. I don't really know. I mean, he drafted Will McDonald in round one. That guy's like 239. So I don't know. He traded for Hassan Reddick. That guy's like 230. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like you get Kenneth Grant. He's a 2-down player. I don't think he's a 3-down player. I think Walter Nolan, he has the ability to put on a little more weight and maybe be a more stout guy against the run if that's what the concern
I don't even know
is.
if you want him to do that, though. He might be good where he's at, for him.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I just feel like picking at 11, the Niners have to knock it out of the park, and they can't play it safe. They can't wait. They need a guy who can produce day one and also has that long-term potential, that high ceiling. And I just feel like Walter Nolan at 11 would be the best thing for the Niners to do. I just feel like it has the highest.
How are you going to feel when they draft Gray Zabel instead?
I would be shocked.
Don't laugh.
I would be shocked because the Niners under this regime have not put an emphasis on the offensive line. And so if they did that, I would be very shocked.
Well, expect the unexpected. JD, thanks for calling in.
Appreciate you, Grant.
All right, man. We got Frisco. Frisco Shills. What's up, Frisco?
Hey, what's up, Brent? Yeah,
You calling from the shed?
yeah, from the shed, bro. This week got to hide from your
Yeah.
family.
Hell yeah.
You'll
What's
know
up?
when you get married and have kids, brother.
Okay.
But no, I think I disagree on the whole commentary on Purdy being a bridge quarterback. I think if you look at this, how things went down last season, that was all Shanahan. Like, in all honesty, I'm not saying Purdy's a lead or whatever you want to. I'm not giving that sort of analytic. I'm just looking at what happened in the games. He ran the same plays in the same sequence every single game. Everyone knew what he was doing. And if you just look at how it broke down, third down, he passed 76% of the time and had no blockers in to pick up the extra rusher. So, I mean, is that on Purdy or is that on Shanahan? You could, if you can't really, that's not a 50-50 split there. He stops running the ball in the last 2 minutes of each half. So 2 minutes, last 2 minutes of the game, last 2 minutes of the first half. He's just way too predictable. The numbers kind of look like there's a balance between the pass and the run, but there's not in terms of where he uses the play. It's like he's running on first down, running second down, pass, and you're just not getting anything. And then he moves to the passing for no apparent reason, even when there's a lead. So instead of controlling the game, he gives up the game because they're not controlling the clock. It's ridiculous to watch. I think everyone saw Coach last year have 3 or 4 heart attacks during the season. One of the things for the draft, who I think they should get and who I think they actually might get, I have no problem with Gray Zabel. That'll be fine.
Mhm.
What I'm very concerned about is that they're going to get a skill guy. And there's something John Lynch mentioned in the press conference where he said that they're looking at, don't be surprised or something along the lines of, getting somebody where there's not like a clear need.
Mhm.
Where don't the Niners have a clear need would be wide receiver. They don't have you can see sort of like projecting into the future having a need at tight end. You can see projecting into the future having a need at running back. But for this upcoming season, there's not a clear need. And I'm just mentioning wide receiver. We hear about Jennings wanting to get paid and all that. That's good for him. And it indicates maybe there might be some need to get a wide receiver sometime in the future. But this year, everyone knows the clear need is at defense. They still need to find an edge. They need to find Trent Williams' replacement at tackle, all of that. So those would be like the positions where they have a clear need. Where aren't there clear needs? Skill positions. There's
You're like 0 positions. You can't name one.
right.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking like people should really look. If Ted McMillan is there, they might get him. They might get Genty, or they might get Warren. Maybe they get was it Colston Loveland or whatever his name is, the other tight end in the first round.
Yeah.
I think there's
Yeah.
that. This is all I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah. Or they could just get the guy with the short arms, Gray Zabel. Who could go wrong?
Like I said, no problem with Gray Zabel. He'd be a great guard.
He's a guard.
Who's the other one? Will Campbell. People saying he's a
Yeah.
guard. I think he could play tackle. He's the arms are short. I don't care. He can play tackle the SEC. He's killing it. Whatever. But I think there's a very high risk they're going to get a skill guy.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Frisco, thanks for calling in, man.
I later, man.
Dude was hiding in the shed. Felt for him. How long do you think he'd been in the shed? You think if he tried to do that in the dining room, they would have been like, "Hey, Frisco, shut up." It's like, yo, it's my house. I'm talking to Grant. It's my friend over here. We got business to talk about. I don't know how it goes over at Frisco's house. Danny D says maybe this is business. It could have been noisy over there. Could have been doing it as a courtesy to me, in which case I appreciate that. This is the Frisco way. Danny D says issue with taking a D lineman is the past draft capital invested and not paying off. We've been trying to replace Buckner since taking Solomon. We need to protect Purdy if they are going to pay him. It's true, man. And what's crazy is that as bad of a pick as Mike McGlinchey was, was better than any defensive tackle the Niners have drafted in round 1 under John and Kyle. Like, McGlinchey at least played and was healthy most of the time. Was he good? No. But he was on the field as opposed to Kinlaw, who was hurt. So, yeah, I kind of agree with this. I don't know who they're going to take. Be interesting if Banks, Membu, and Campbell are all off the board. What do they do then? Do they reach for the 4th highest graded offensive lineman, or do they take a defensive tackle who might not be better than some defensive tackle they could take in round 2? That's my problem with taking Walter Nolan at 11. Like, is he definitely better than a defensive tackle you could get in round 2? Not definitely. Maybe, probably, potentially. Anyway, we got one more dude who just Noad. You got to turn on your camera though. Can't be letting people on. Only Chardal. I only make that the exception for Chardal because I know. So I don't know about you, though, buddy. But you know what time it is? What is that? Come on. No, that's not it. I wanted to do. Wait a second. There it is. Nope. There it is. Yes. Okay. So as you guys know, my channel, my whole channel, sponsored by Prize Picks this year. It's very exciting. Use that promo code Cohn. Help me out. Help yourself out. But what's cool about Prize Picks, you don't even have to put any money down. This is a free play. It's kind of like a March Madness thing. It's just for the draft. 3 plays, more or less, for day 1 of the draft tomorrow. So you guys got to download the app and get in on this. First rounders wearing glasses. Ashton Genty's draft position. Goodell getting booed on stage. Attendees left undrafted. Ooh, I'm going to put more on attendees left undrafted. I feel like that's a NFL tradition. Shadur Sanders draft position 11.5. Why do you think they put it at 11.5, guys? That's an oddly specific number. 11.5. It's almost like they expect the Niners to take him at 11, huh? Peter Schrager said something. He said not at 11 though, right? I'm going to say more, as in he's going to get drafted higher than 11, right at 11 maybe. First rounders crying, SEC players drafted, Travis Hunter draft position, drip check, first round drip checks 2.5 mentions of drip. Man, that's tough because I feel like you can definitely bang on at 2 mentions of drip. It's 2025. People talking about drip. I'm gonna fade this one and say we're gonna stick at two mentions of drip, and that's my play. You only get 3. So attendees left undrafted, Shadur Sanders draft position, which is oddly centered around the Niners, and first round drip checks, submitting the lineup, boom, 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 shakalaka, boom, and I'm gonna win, and I'm gonna win all the money, and you could too. Download the Prize Picks app, use promo code Cohn, help out my channel and me. What's up, man?
What's up, Grant? How you doing?
Good. How do you pronounce your name? I butchered it.
No,
Nood. Thank you.
Yeah, no. Nice
Appreciate
to
it.
meet
Where you
you.
calling from?
San Francisco, the Bay.
Nice. Cool.
Bay. I actually talked to you. I'm not. You probably don't remember. It was like 4 years ago when Deshaun Watson was, about to get traded. From
That was a long
the
time ago. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before Trey Lance, the Trey Lance trade. But
Sure.
I just wanted to talk about Will Johnson. I think the Niners should draft him. I was watching some film of him. He's very physical. I feel like people say he's undersized, but I just feel like he's with Travis Ward leaving the team, I feel like there kind of is a void there at the corner position, and you pair him up with the Lenore. I think that'll be a great one too for the team.
I'm a little nervous because he had turf toe last year, but it's not like any of these draft picks at 11 are perfect or come without risks. So I hear you on that one.
Yeah. I saw like a mock draft. I think it was Daniel Jeremiah. He had them drafting an O lineman. The name is Gray Zabel. I
Gray
don't.
Zabel.
Yeah, I haven't really watched much of him. That's my first time hearing. I don't know. Do you know if he's good or not? Have you watched him?
He is good. He could play center. He could play guard. He played tackle in college. I don't know that I just tried to talk myself into him playing tackle for the last 15 minutes, but I'm looking, his wingspan is really like, there's 2 ways to measure arm length. There's arm length, which is from the bicep here, and it basically just measures this way. And then there's wingspan, which measures your body in between. And I feel
Yeah.
like for an offensive lineman, like the full wingspan kind of matters. And for his, it's like it's still really low. Some guys have short arms but big wingspans because they're like burly. Not him. He
Mhm.
played quarterback in middle school. So to me, he's like a big, pumped up skill position guy. He
Yeah.
kind of looks like a tight end in real life. A big one.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, I gotta watch him more. But who would you say they should draft? An O lineman or go for the defense?
I would go O-line because I just don't think that the top D tackles are necessarily like great fits and are
Mhm.
really going to help the Niners run defense. I think you need someone who's a good pass rusher, but also like not a liability against the run, and like Hargrave was in
Mhm.
this front. That's me though. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Nolan will be great against the run in this. I just think it's going to be hard at 290 whatever pounds. Who
Yeah.
do you like?
Yeah, I like Will Johnson.
Will Johnson.
I also like Jawad Campbell. I think he's really
Okay.
really good linebacker. I know I saw some mock drafts. He was actually sliding down to like late 20s or even pick 30 to
Well,
be
he had
considered.
surgery recently, so that was the
Yeah.
one issue with him. Other than that, he's a hell of a prospect.
Yeah, I know he looks great. So yeah, that's kind of the guys, I like from this draft. But also I think they potentially might trade down to, pick 20 or something and get more draft capital later.
I'm sure they'd love to. That'd be a great call. I know that the Broncos own pick 20 or
Mhm.
hold pick 20 and would like to move up. So depends on probably who's available. They might want who knows what they want, who they
Yeah.
want.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
Good call, no.
Good call. Thank you.
All right, man. I'll talk to you soon. Peace. Korean Niner.
How are you, Grant?
How's work?
Tiring.
Tiring.
I did a 10-hour day, so always
You just
fun.
get back?
A little bit ago.
Okay.
Gotta
Cool.
gotta find a way to pay the bill somehow.
Gotta
So
grind.
it is what it is. So if I'm the 49ers, I would try to trade back. Because as I believe you and your dad talked about, what was Bill Walsh always wanting to do? He always wanted to trade back, get more capital.
Yep.
And that's what the team should at least try to learn that. Unless you can find a player like Jerry Rice in that 85 draft. I believe that was the 80, can't remember if it was the 84, the 85 draft.
85.
They traded up to get him ahead of the Cowboys, which thankfully they did. I couldn't imagine Jerry Rice on the Cowboys, but that's another deal for another day. But as we've talked about before, we need to find a way to get more draft capital and improve the trenches somehow. If they could, everybody.
I got a question for you.
Go
Do
ahead.
you think they're approaching this draft like we need to hit the most pressing needs first to give ourselves a chance to compete this year, to contend this year? Or are they thinking, 2025 is kind of a lost cause anyway? Like we might be okay because our schedule's easy, but let's really draft with 2026 in mind. Because that could be our year if we play this right.
Well, I kind of see them doing what they've normally kind of done and just try to go after skill talent with that higher picks. I mean, if they legitimately believe that Ashton Jeanty from Boise State is the best player at whatever spot they're at, do what you got to draft him. I mean, but I would like to see them draft Kelvin Banks because I just feel that Trent Williams he may not contribute this year at all because he may retire.
I feel that.
And can't blame him for it. Those injuries have caught up to him, and he wants to have a family, and it's never easy to have a family when you're not there for almost half a year.
True.
So
True.
the
I feel
player
like we're going to hear more about that in the next few days.
Yeah. So what I'm thinking is they need to get Kelvin Banks from Texas because look who he's gone up against during his career. As a freshman, in that 123 draft, he played 3 first-round defensive ends and didn't allow a sack. That was
Right.
as a true freshman.
Yeah, last year he allowed 4 pressures.
Yes.
In the SEC, like I don't know. It
And
could have been
the one-
3.
Go ahead.
It could have been 3, but it was 4.
And if people look at it, compare him and Will Campbell. Will Campbell has shorter arms. Kelvin Banks has a longer wingspan. Kelvin Banks is a legit 6'5" and 315 pounds. And he dominated at the left tackle position in college.
Yeah.
And Will Campbell has shorter arms than Kelvin. Because that's what they always go by when they measure tackle prospects, offensive tackle prospects.
Yeah.
So I would like to see them get Kelvin Banks, but if they get the best player available, go with that. Just don't get someone just because they're there and you think they're going to fill a need. That's all I could hope for.
So you know what's crazy now? Now that I'm looking at it, and now I'm back to thinking that the Niners are going to take Gray's Abel. Like, he's built just like Will Campbell. They're very similarly sized, about 6'6", 315, 20 pounds with short arms. They're very similar, except, yeah, I mean, they're going to take one of these offensive linemen. Telling you.
I do. If you're ever, is your email still realgrantcohn@gmail.com? I can't, or something similar to that.
No, that's not my email. Absolutely, actually, but I will. I'll put it in the private chat.
Okay,
so you can check it out. Yeah,
I'll send you some hole in the wall recommendations for some places I've been to with with NFL teams. So the next time you're there, you got some food recommendations.
Thank you, man. I'll put it in the private chat right now.
Yep.
All right, cool. Talk to you soon.
Yep. Thank you, sir.
See ya. Marcus, you're next. You just got to turn on your camera. And really quick, some highlights from the private chat. Someone clicked the link, wrote in Marty McFly, calls himself Marty McFly. Team hasn't been the same since Greenlaw went down. True. Also, he wrote, Kyle only coaches players he likes. So that's what Marty McFly had to say. He made it. He might have, traveled from 1984 to say that one. 1985. Marcus, are you there? No? Going once, going twice. All right. The show, I think, has come to an end. Thank you very much, everyone, for calling in. It's been the best show of all time. Cohn phone wise. No, here's Marcus. There you are. What's up, dude? What's going on, man?
What it do? How are you?
What it do? How are you? I'm all right.
I'm good. I missed the whole show, so what's been the hot topic?
Doesn't matter.
Trading back?
What's on your mind? Who do you want him to take?
I want him to trade back.
Okay.
Get a defensive tackle. But they'll probably take I don't think they're going to take a tackle in the first round. Offensive tackle, at least.
How much you want to
bet? $49.
Okay. All right. All right. Cool.
$49.
Right. We're gonna take Shadur Sanders, and I'm gonna lose, but I'm gonna win at the same time.
That take is hilarious. I love it.
Thank you.
Try
hard.
Shadur Sanders was an awesome take, actually. It came out of left field.
I love that Peter Schrager said it too. I'm like, yes.
I do agree with a bunch of people that if certain people are on the board still, that gives us an opportunity to trade back. And I don't know about Shadur. Like, is he really going to drop out of the top 4? Top 3, I guess?
It seems like it. I don't know for sure, but it seems like it. Yeah.
But I think
people are being really hard on him.
That'd be awesome to have another
like too hard on him. Yeah.
I don't know. I hope we trade back though. Get some picks, stock up on both sides of the line.
If they trade Brock Purdy on draft day, I'm gonna be.
That'd be insane.
Yeah, it would be.
What was he as far as like I don't know if you pay attention to jersey sales.
Good question. Let me see. Top selling jerseys. Hold on. NFL 2024. All right. Here we go. This is according to FHC Sports. So we got number 1, CJ Stroud. Can we believe this? Number 2, Caleb Williams. Number 3, Patrick Mahomes. Number 4, Aiden Hutchinson. Number 5, Jaden Daniels. Number 6, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Number 7, CeeDee Lamb. Number 8, Josh Allen. Number 7, Justin Jefferson. 9, Justin Jefferson. Number 10, Max Crosby. I don't see not one Niner on that list.
Yeah.
NFL Shop. What about? Yeah, man, I don't see it. Jordan Love was 11. Yikes. It's not good. It's not good, Brock. You got to sell jerseys, man. Come on.
You got to sell jerseys. I have a rule: Hall of Famers only.
Yeah.
The only active player I have is Warner. Maybe Kittle if they don't trade him. If he gets to year 10.
I'm trading him.
You're trading everybody.
Everyone's
Starting
gone.
over. Full rebuild.
Shador, I trust.
You know why that's not happening?
Why?
Because they brought back the fullback. They keep the group together. They keep the clan
I was
together.
so happy when they brought him back. I was worried, but then they brought him back.
Oh, man.
Concerned. Yeah. All right, Marcus. It's dinner time, dude. Thanks for calling in.
Have a good rest
Peace.
of your day.
Later, man. All right, I'm done. Thanks for watching. I'll call in. I'll do another call-in show next week after it ends, and we can react to like what they actually do. I appreciate you guys calling in. Peace.